National Hunt Racing is the ultimate test of a thoroughbred, where stamina, speed, and the rhythmic precision of jumping collide in the most demanding arenas of the British Isles. From Arkle's almost supernatural dominance to Red Rum's impossible Grand National comebacks, these champions did not just win races, they created moments that shook the sport to its core. But how do we truly measure greatness across generations? From pre-war heavy chasers to the aerodynamic powerhouses of the modern era. Using the authority of the Timeform rating system and the lasting impact each champion had on the sport's evolution, we uncover the 10 legends who did not just win races, but reshaped national hunt history forever. At number 10, Red Rum, the undisputed king of Aintree and one of the most beloved racehorses in British sporting history. Foaled in 1965, he was sired by Quorum out of Meride and was originally bred to be a flat sprinter. As a 2-year-old, he even dead-heated in a 5-furlong race at Aintree. However, under the innovative training of Ginger McCain, who famously galloped him on the sands of Southport to manage a chronic bone disease in his feet, Red Rum evolved into the ultimate Grand National specialist. He achieved an unmatched historic treble by winning the Grand National in 1973, 4, and 7, and he also finished second in the 2 intervening years, 1975 and 1976. His 1973 victory stands among the greatest comebacks in sporting history, as he trailed the Australian chaser Crisp by more than 15 lengths at the final fence, before relentlessly closing the gap to win in record time. In 1977, at 12 years of age, he claimed his 3rd title by 25 lengths, sealing his status as a national icon. Astonishingly, Red Rum never fell in 100 career starts, a testament to his flawless jumping and intelligence over obstacles. Upon his death in 1995, he was buried at the winning post at Aintree, the very track where his legend was forged and where his name will forever echo in racing folklore. Number 9, we highlight Istabraq, the master of the minimum trip and the dominant hurdler of the late 1990s. Foaled in 1992, this bay gelding was sired by the phenomenal Sadler's Wells out of Betty's Secret. Originally bred and trained for the flat by John Gosden, he was later purchased by J.P. McManus and sent to Aidan O'Brien, a move that transformed him into a hurdling superstar. Achieving a peak Timeform rating of 180, Istabraq won 3 consecutive champion hurdles in 1998, 1999, and 2000. His 12-length victory in the 1998 edition remains one of the widest winning margins in the race's history. Guided by his regular jockey Charlie Swan, his success was built on exceptionally fluent jumping and a devastating turn of foot. He won 23 of his 29 starts over hurdles, including a record 4 Irish champion hurdles. Only the foot and mouth epidemic of 2001, which forced the cancellation of the Cheltenham Festival, denied him the opportunity to pursue a historic 4th consecutive champion hurdle in his prime. Istabraq brought unprecedented public attention to hurdling and lived to the remarkable age of 32 at Martinstown Stud, where he remained a revered figure and the modern benchmark for excellence at 2 miles. Coming in at number 8, we recognize Night Nurse, widely regarded as the toughest of hurdlers and the highest rated in that discipline. Foaled in 1971, this bay gelding was bred at Clogran Stud in Ireland by Eleanor Samuelson, daughter of Dick Dawson. He was sired by Falcon out of Florence Nightingale and was sold for 1,300 guineas at the Newmarket Houghton sale in 1972 to trainer Peter Easterby. Owned by Red Spencer and trained at Habton Grange near Malton in North Yorkshire, Night Nurse was ridden in many of his early races by the Irish jockey Paddy Broderick, who employed a distinctive long-rein style. He achieved a peak Timeform rating of 182, the highest ever awarded to a hurdler, and a figure that places him ahead of modern legends such as Istabraq and Foggeen. Trained by Peter Easterby and ridden primarily by Paddy Broderick, he won consecutive champion hurdles in 1976 and 1977. The 1977 renewal is frequently described as one of the greatest ever, featuring Monksfield and Sea Pigeon, and that same season culminated in a legendary dead heat with Monksfield in the Templegate Hurdle at Aintree, a race remembered for the bravery of both horses. Remarkably, his excellence extended beyond hurdles. switched to steeplechasing, he achieved a rating that would have made him champion in many seasons, and finished runner-up in the 1981 Cheltenham Gold Cup. Across his career, he recorded 35 wins, including 3 on the flat, 19 over hurdles, and 13 over fences, establishing himself as the ultimate standard-bearer for hurdling toughness and competitive spirit. Moving forward at number 7, we arrive at Desert Orchid, the gray icon of the 1980s and a horse affectionately known as Desi. Foaled in 1979 and living until 2006, this gray gelding was sired by Grey Mirage out of Flower Child and trained by David Ellsworth. He achieved a peak Timeform rating of 187 and became a national treasure thanks to his flamboyant front-running style and indomitable will. His versatility was extraordinary, as he won over distances ranging from 2 miles to 3.5 miles, and handled ground conditions from firm to heavy. His most famous victory came in the 1989 Cheltenham Gold Cup, where he triumphed over heavy ground that he traditionally disliked, defeating Yahoo in a grueling and emotional finish that remains etched in racing memory. Desert Orchid was also the undisputed master of Kempton Park, winning 4 King George VI chases in 1986 to 1990. In the 1990 Irish Grand National, he demonstrated his strength by carrying 12 stone to victory. Ridden by jockeys such as Colin Brown, Simon Sherwood, and Richard Dunwoody, his aggressive and attacking jumping style often forced rivals into costly errors. He retired with 34 wins from 70 starts and career earnings exceeding £650,000. His popularity extended far beyond the racecourse, reflected in the fan mail he continued to receive during retirement and the statue erected in his honor at Kempton. At number 6, we celebrate Dawn Run, the queen of the double and the most successful race mare in the history of national hunt racing. Foaled at John Reardon Stud in County Cork, Ireland, she was sired by the legendary Deep Run out of Twilight Slave and went on to record 21 wins from 35 starts. Purchased for a modest 5,800 guineas and sent to trainer Paddy Mullins, Dawn Run began her career on the flat and in bumpers, where her 62-year-old owner, Charmian Hill, famously rode her to victory. She reached her first major peak in 1984, capturing the champion hurdles of England, Ireland, and France in the same season. Transitioning to fences brought intense scrutiny as she was asked to prove her stamina over the demanding 3.25-mile trip of the Cheltenham Gold Cup. In 1986, under jockey John Joe O'Neill, she delivered one of the most dramatic performances in racing history. After making a serious mistake at the final fence, she rallied up the Cheltenham Hill to win in record time, prompting the unforgettable commentary line, "The mare's beginning to get up." Her Timeform rating of 173 remains the highest ever awarded to a jumping mare. Her rare versatility, combining the speed required for a 2-mile champion hurdle with the stamina for a Gold Cup, makes her achievement unique. Tragically, later in 1986, while attempting to win the French champion hurdle at Auteuil, she suffered a fatal fall. Her death was mourned as a national tragedy in Ireland, where she was revered as a symbol of courage and defiance. Today, multiple races bear her name, including the Dawn Run Mares Novices Hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival, and she remains the ultimate proof that gender is no barrier to greatness in the most demanding discipline of equine sport. Closing out this first part at number 5, we honor Golden Miller, widely regarded as the steeplechaser of the century and a spiritual predecessor to Arkle. Foaled in 1927, he was bred in Ireland by Lawrence Garrity and sired by the unraced Gold Court out of Miller's Pride. Owned by the colorful Dorothy Paget and trained primarily by Basil Briscoe, Golden Miller achieved a feat that has never been equaled, winning 5 consecutive Cheltenham Gold Cups from 1932 through 1936. His victories came under different jockeys and against notable opponents, including a 4-length win over Grackle in 1932 with Ted Leader aboard, a 10-length triumph over Thomond II in 1933 with Billy Stott, a 6-length success over Kelsborough Jack in 1934 with Jerry Wilson, a narrow 3/4-length victory over Thomond II again in 1935 with Jerry Wilson, and a commanding 12-length defeat of Royal Ransom in 1936 under Evan Williams. In 1934, he achieved the extraordinary double of winning both the Cheltenham Gold Cup and the Grand National at Aintree in the same season, an accomplishment that remains unique in racing history. His Grand National triumph that year came in record time, a benchmark that stood for nearly 40 years until Red Rum broke it. Golden Miller compiled 29 wins from 52 starts during an era when fences at Cheltenham and Aintree were significantly stiffer than those seen today. Despite a complex relationship with Dorothy Paget that led to him moving between trainers, his courage and stamina never wavered. He retired in 1939 as a national icon, having earned approximately £15,000 in prize money, a figure equivalent to millions in the modern economy. Buried at Elsenham Stud, Golden Miller's legacy endures as one of the foundational pillars of national hunt greatness. Landing at number 4, we celebrate Kauto Star, the embodiment of longevity and versatility in the modern era. Foaled in 2000, this French-bred bay gelding was bred by Mrs. Henry Aubert and sired by Village Star out of Kauto Ralka. He became the flagship of Paul Nicholls' Ditcheat stable and achieved a peak Timeform rating of 191. Alongside a Racing Post rating of 192, the highest ever awarded to a national hunt horse since those ratings began in 1987. Timeform ranked him as the joint 4th best steeplechase horse in history, equal to Millhouse. Kauto Star holds the unique distinction of being the only horse ever to be top-rated over 2 miles, 2.5 miles, and 3 miles in the same season. He was officially rated the best steeplechase horse 4 times. His achievements include 2 Cheltenham Gold Cups in 2007 and 2009, making him the first horse ever to regain the Gold Cup title. In 2009, he defeated Denman by 13 lengths, reversing a 7-length defeat to the same rival the previous year. He also captured a record-breaking 5 King George VI chases and became the first horse ever to win a Grade 1 race in 6 consecutive seasons, a sequence he extended to 7. Over 41 career starts, he recorded 23 victories and amassed a national hunt record of £3 million in earnings. Managed largely by jockey Ruby Walsh, his high cruising speed and relentless jumping efficiency defined a golden era of chasing, particularly through his rivalry with stablemate Denman, a rivalry that captivated the public in a manner not seen since the days of Desert Orchid. Tragically, on the 24th of June 2015, Kauto Star was seriously injured after falling in his paddock. Veterinary assistant Hattie Lawrence reported that 3 bones appeared to have been fractured, along with a fracture to the spine at the base of the neck, an injury that caused paralysis and made it impossible for him to stand. He was humanely euthanized, bringing an end to the life of a horse who had become not just a champion, but an institution. His impact is commemorated by a statue at Cheltenham. Coming in at number 3, we turn to Sprinter Sacre, the modern standard of 2-mile excellence, and a horse who redefined chasing in the 21st century. Born in 2006 in France, he was sired by the German Stallion Network and out of the Selle Francais mare, Fatima III. Trained by Nicky Henderson and owned by Mrs. Caroline Mould, Sprinter Sacre stood over 16.2 hands and carried a deep bay coat that became instantly recognizable. He achieved a peak Timeform rating of 192 with a P indicator for potential, the 3rd highest in history and the highest since the days of Arkle and Flyingbolt. His 2012 to 2013 season was a masterclass in dominance as he remained unbeaten in 5 starts, including emphatic victories in the Tingle Creek, the Victor Chandler, and the Queen Mother Champion Chase, where he defeated Size in Europe by 19 lengths. His journey, however, was not defined by dominance alone. Diagnosed with a heart arrhythmia in late 2013, he endured 2 challenging seasons in which he struggled to recapture his former brilliance. Yet in the 2015 to 2016 campaign, at 10 years of age, he completed one of the most emotional comebacks in racing history by reclaiming his Champion Chase crown at Cheltenham, defeating the younger Undisso. Ridden primarily by Barry Garrity and later by Nico de Boinville, Sprinter Sacre earned the nickname the Special One for his effortless jumping and his ability to cruise at a pace that shattered the resolve of his rivals. Across his career, he secured 18 victories from 24 starts, including major successes such as the Arkle Challenge Trophy, the Queen Mother Champion Chase, and the Schloer Chase. He retired in 2016 with career earnings of £1 million, leaving behind a legacy as the ultimate modern steeplechaser. Kicking things off at number 2, we arrive at Flyingbolt, the uncrowned prince of the Dreeper era and one of the most formidable talents ever to grace the steeplechasing stage. Foaled in 1959, this gelding was sired by Airborne, a grandson of Precipitation and out of Eastlock. Representing Great Britain, Flyingbolt was trained by Tom Draper and frequently partnered by Pat Taff. He achieved a Timeform rating of 210, the second highest in history, placing him just below his legendary stablemate, Arkle. Unlike the more composed Arkle, Flyingbolt possessed a precocious and difficult temperament, rarely allowing visitors into his stable box. Yet on the track, he was a powerhouse of energy and versatility, dominating across multiple distances. In 1966, he captured the Queen Mother Champion Chase in devastating fashion and went on to win the Irish Grand National the same year, carrying 12 stone and 7 pounds to victory while conceding more than 40 pounds to seasoned rivals. His sequence of 11 consecutive chase victories showcased a rare combination of raw power and relentless speed. Many experts have long speculated that a direct clash between Flyingbolt and Arkle would have produced the greatest contest in turf history. Tragically, his career was severely compromised by brucellosis, an illness that drained his strength and prevented him from ever fully regaining peak condition. Even so, his Timeform rating of 210 places him comfortably above any modern champion, underlining the extraordinary concentration of talent within the Draper yard during the 1960s. Finally, at number 1, we conclude with Arkle, the undisputed sovereign of the steeplechase, and a horse whose name defines greatness in national hunt history. Foaled in 1957 and living until 1970, this bay gelding achieved a towering Timeform rating of 212, a figure that still stands at the summit of the sport. Bred by Mary Baker at the Ballymacall Stud in County Meath, Ireland, Arkle was sired by Archive, a son of the legendary Nearco, who had been considered a failure on the flat, and he was out of the jump-winning mare Bright Cherry. On paper, his pedigree did not scream immortality, yet in reality, he possessed a physiological engine so extraordinary that it defied contemporary handicapping. Trained by Tom Draper at Greenogue and ridden by the legendary Pat Taff, Arkle forced Irish racing authorities to introduce a unique Arkle weight system, simply to prevent him from carrying the entire field out of the handicap. His record of 27 victories from 35 starts includes 3 consecutive Cheltenham Gold Cups in 1964 to 66, along with a King George VI chase, an Irish Grand National, and 2 Hennessy Gold Cups. His 1965 Gold Cup demolition of Millhouse by 20 lengths remains one of the most dominant performances ever witnessed on a racecourse. Affectionately known as himself, Arkle attracted fan mail from around the world and was even honored on an Irish postage stamp. His career was tragically curtailed by a pedal bone injury sustained during the 1966 King George. Yet his legacy lives on through the Arkle Challenge Trophy and the preservation of his skeleton at the Irish National Stud. To this day, he remains the benchmark by which every steeplechaser is measured, a horse whose blend of speed and stamina rendered the official handicap virtually meaningless. The stories of these 10 legends reveal that national hunt greatness is never one-dimensional. It is a powerful blend of raw ability, tactical speed, stamina, courage, breeding excellence, and visionary training. From Arkle and Flyingbolt setting standards that still feel untouchable, to modern icons like Kauto Star and Sprinter Sacre proving that 21st century champions can reach comparable heights, each era has shaped the next. With Ireland remaining the heartbeat of jumping and master trainers transforming talent into immortality, these legends stand as eternal benchmarks for every future champion. If you enjoyed this deep dive into national hunt history, make sure to comment your favorite legend, like this video, and subscribe for more elite racing content. Thanks for watching.